In the early years of space exploration, NASA turned to a variety of animal species to test the effects of space travel on living organisms. Monkeys were some of the most well-known subjects of these experiments. Scientists at NASA and other space agencies used monkeys as models for understanding how the human body would respond to the unique stresses of space travel. They hoped that the results would offer insights into human health in space and broader questions about human evolution. One of the most famous cases was that of the rhesus monkeys, which were sent into space aboard several spacecraft in the 1950s and 1960s. These experiments, although controversial at the time, would go on to provide critical data about the physiological and psychological effects of space travel. NASA's monkey tests began in earnest in the late 1950s, just a few years after the Soviet Union successfully launched Sputnik into orbit. The US was racing to catch up in the space race. Understanding how living organisms, especially mammals, would survive in the harsh environment of space was a top priority. The idea behind these early tests was simple. If astronauts were going to survive in space, NASA needed to know what would happen to them in conditions of weightlessness, radiation, and confinement. Monkeys, with their biological similarities to humans, were seen as ideal subjects for these tests. The most famous of these tests involved a rhesus monkey named Albert. He became the first monkey to be sent into space. While Albert did not survive the flight, the experiment provided valuable information that helped shape future space missions. After Albert, a series of other rhesus monkeys and macaques were sent into space. One of the most famous cases was the flight of Abel and Baker in 1959. Abel was a rhesus monkey and Baker was a squirrel monkey. The two were launched aboard a space capsule. Both survived the flight, marking a significant milestone for space exploration. But what did these early tests with monkeys reveal? Did they provide any clues about human evolution? The answer is multifaceted. These tests revealed much about both the history of space exploration and the study of human biology. On the most basic level, the spaceflight tests provided important insights into how animals, and by extension humans, react to the extreme conditions of space. For example, one of the early findings from these monkey experiments was the impact of microgravity on an organism's cardiovascular system. Monkeys sent into space showed changes in their blood pressure and heart rate in response to the weightlessness of space. This was similar to what astronauts would later experience. This discovery helped inform the design of countermeasures, such as exercise routines, to help astronauts maintain their health during extended missions. Beyond the physiological, NASA's monkey experiments also provided valuable data on the psychological effects of space travel. Scientists observed that monkeys in space would often display signs of stress, anxiety, and disorientation. These behaviors mirrored what astronauts would later experience during space travel. The psychological pressures of confinement and isolation could be just as challenging as the physical effects of weightlessness. Understanding these psychological impacts has led to better mental health support for astronauts. They now undergo extensive training and preparation to handle the stresses of spaceflight. But perhaps one of the most intriguing aspects of NASA's monkey experiments is their connection to the broader questions about human evolution. Rhesus monkeys, macaques, and other primates share a significant portion of their DNA with humans. This made them key subjects for studying human health and development. The insights gained from the physiological and neurological changes observed in monkeys in space helped scientists better understand human biology. This was particularly important in the context of space travel. While it may not be immediately obvious, the study of monkeys in space has provided important clues about the evolution of the human body. By studying how monkeys adapted to the challenges of space, researchers have learned about the role of the cardiovascular, muscular, and skeletal systems in maintaining health in a weightless environment. This information is not just useful for space missions, but also for understanding the fundamental biology of how humans evolved to thrive on Earth. The insights from these tests also extend to the study of evolution itself. Just as early humans had to adapt to the harsh conditions of their environments, whether extreme climates or the need to develop tools and technology to survive, animals like monkeys had to adapt to the pressures of space travel. The physiological changes observed in monkeys sent into space are similar to those that humans may have undergone over millions of years. The ability to adapt to extreme conditions, whether in space or on Earth, is a testament to the resilience of life. It shows how life evolves in response to changing circumstances. The long-term effects of space travel on monkeys also provided valuable insights into human evolution. This is particularly true in the areas of aging and bone density. Studies have shown that prolonged exposure to the microgravity environment of space leads to a decrease in bone density. This condition is known as spaceflight osteopenia. The loss of bone mass is one of the challenges that astronauts face during extended missions. It can also be observed in aging humans, particularly in conditions like osteoporosis. The effects on bone density observed in space monkeys have helped researchers understand how the human body might respond to the aging process. They've also studied how countermeasures like exercise or medication can help mitigate these effects. Furthermore, the research on monkeys in space has led to a greater understanding of the evolution of the nervous system. The impact of space travel on the brain, including changes in brain structure and function, has been a key area of study. Monkeys in space exhibited changes in their brain activity. These changes provided important clues about how the brain adapts to new environments. By studying these changes, scientists have been able to draw parallels between space-induced brain adaptations and the evolutionary adaptations that early humans may have experienced. The impact of gravity on the development of the brain and the nervous system is a particularly interesting area of research. Just as astronauts must adjust to the lack of gravity in space, living creatures must adapt to the effects of gravity over time. The study of how animals like monkeys respond to zero gravity has helped researchers understand the role gravity has played in the evolution of the human brain. But the influence of NASA's monkey tests goes beyond the laboratory. The research conducted during the early days of space exploration laid the foundation for our modern understanding of human health, biology, and evolution. The lessons learned from these experiments have shaped how we approach space travel, how we study human evolution, and how we understand the physical and psychological impacts of extreme environments. The data collected from these experiments has been instrumental in developing technologies, countermeasures, and strategies that ensure the safety and well-being of astronauts today. While the monkeys used in NASA's space missions may no longer be alive, their legacy continues to shape the way we study human biology, evolution, and space exploration. Without their sacrifice and contribution to scientific research, we would not have the same depth of understanding about how living organisms adapt to the challenges of space. The legacy of NASA's monkey tests has expanded beyond space exploration. The data gathered has influenced research into aging, bone density, the nervous system, and even the study of human evolution. By studying how animals responded to the extreme environment of space, NASA and other research institutions have been able to unlock critical insights about the fundamental biology of life itself. While these tests were primarily focused on understanding space travel, they also shed light on how living organisms, including humans, evolve in response to their environment. Through the study of monkeys and other animals, scientists continue to explore the complex relationship between biology, environment, and evolution. The story of NASA's monkey tests is more than just a chapter in the history of space exploration. It is a critical part of the ongoing story of human evolution and our quest to understand the forces that have shaped our existence. These tests, though controversial at the time, have proven invaluable to our understanding of the human body and its ability to adapt to the challenges of space and beyond. As we continue to push the boundaries of space exploration, the lessons learned from these early tests will continue to inform our understanding of life on Earth and in the cosmos.